Three, two, one. Hi, and welcome to yet another Expat. This is episode number 10, I think. Recording here again from Athens. Shitty laptop time, no microphone, no studio. This will be the way it goes for some time. It's a Sunday. I'm stressed, bored, warm, sleep deprived, not in my natural habitat of my studio. I wish I could be in some seaside, just swimming, but I feel I just have too many things to do. Do you feel you have too many things to do? Is it a thing after 30s that somehow everything becomes things you have to do? Lists over lists of things that need to be done that are never done? Am I doing something wrong? Am I living the life in the wrong way? Please let me know your secrets. I'm trying to get all of the things done in the list and go to the sea. I think this could be the description of my life right now in general. It could be true any moment at any single time. But I'm here, I'm recording this glorious podcast. There is a few dozens of you that are consistently listening, which is nice. We're a small group. We could feed a theater, go watch a movie, not like an IMAX theater, but more like the hipster type of indie, artsy, hidden movie theater where someone drags you for a documentary you didn't know exists and probably don't remember it does even after watching it. But thank you for being around. This is, I guess it's a milestone, right? 10th episode, if I count them correctly. I'm staying in an apartment that is not mine. And part of the duties I have as a guest here is to take care of a dog. It's a tiny dog with a lot of fur, and I need to make sure that I keep it alive. Now, I don't know what you think about dogs, but for me, and sorry if this is coming off as harsh, small dogs are not dogs. I had a dog. I almost had two dogs for some time. And let me tell you, these tiny, little, squeaky types of dogs are full. They have more psychological problems than me when I started therapy 7 years ago. They are just mean and territorial, and they don't like other dogs, and they don't like themselves, and they bark and they squeak, and they are lovely. They are lovely. They're not dogs. If a dog does not weigh 10 kilograms, then it's not a dog. It's just a medium sized responsibility. And this dog that I need to take care of is lovely. We're having a great time together. Not only it's very small, it's also very old. So I need to make sure that I think my task is keeping it alive. It cannot go over big stairs, so I need to carry it like I am a rich lady in my bag. Carry it up and down the stairs and walk it around. It has a lot of fur, so in a way, it's a bit like a broom. But when you are walking it outside, you are doing the city a bit of a favor, cleaning the streets as you go, which means that when you get back home, you also need to take some wipes and clean the paws and clean just all the hair around, which is a very entertaining task for me. I'm having a great time doing that. And then the legs are weak and the throat is weak. And this tiny dog coughs, and it coughs like an 80-year-old sailor who has been in oil tankers smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. And I know how that sounds like because this was my grandpa, I think, up until his 40s. But let me tell you, the way this dog coughs, you think there's something wrong. You think it's dying, and it was one of the disclaimers I got from the owner. She told me, if you hear the cough, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. So, yes, this is part of my life, taking care of this tiny dog. And it even has a bell, so you can hear it when it walks around. And the reason for that is so that you don't step on it in the house. And let me tell you, if A dog is so small that needs to protect its space with a bell so that it doesn't get stepped on. How can this be a dog? I love it, but we need a different name for these animals. They're too tiny, too fragile. I don't think this dog would survive 3 days in the wild. The last part of my duties that I will share is that this dog eats not only its food with extra virgin olive oil on top, just to make the dog food even nicer, also some salmon oil on top, because why not? And on top of that, it eats boiled carrots, boiled broccoli, bananas, apples, and yeah, this is my life. I'm like a private chef for a fancy, old, coughing, fluffy doggy. I'll call it doggy. And you're probably thinking, do we even want to know about your life? Why is this interesting? And I'll say, I just remembered that the description of this podcast is actually personal stories. And I've been sharing a lot of articles and stuff. So I guess sharing stories is part of the deal. One more thing that I find unique in Greece is how we deal with construction. Construction in Greece is like it's like Sisyphus. You know the myth of Sisyphus? He's that dude who has a big rock to push up a mountain, and every now and then the rock, I don't remember actually. He never gets the rock up, but it could be that he does it and he wakes up the next day and the rock is again down. And when I say rock, I mean a big round rock. Is it called a boulder? I don't even know how a big round rock would be called. But he either wakes up every morning and the rock ball is at the bottom, or as he's pushing it up, something happens and then he gets dragged back down again. Well, this is the state of Greek construction, although you need to subtract the labor and the work Sisyphus puts in. Because in Greek construction, things go like that, but it feels like no one even puts the effort. Somehow, that ball, you start in the mountain, and then the ball is further down, and then further down, and then further down. And at some point, you realize, weren't we supposed to make a construction here to improve something? Why is it 5 years later and things look worse than what they were when we started? And this is something very, very typical. Construction in Greece, whether it is to improve a public space or a square or a pavement or whatever it is, it will start from a state where it's not bad. People don't want it changed. Usually, the things that get rebuilt in this city is not where the city is in pain. It's more where there is an opportunity for a PR stunt. Then the construction starts, and it takes for so long, and it's done in the most inconvenient way. The roads will be closed, there will be no way for pedestrians to walk on the side, there will be absolutely no planning for how to mitigate any of the inconveniences happening. There will be natural disasters. If it rains, it might get the dirt further away. Like it gets restarted again and again in different ways. And that takes for so long that all you have left is the constant inconvenience. You have forgotten how it was before. You have no idea or no hope that it's going to be better in the future. You just live in the present, where the present is the high degree of inconvenience caused in your life for very little benefit. So much that the way that most constructions in Greece finish is that they take so long that the end result they arrive to, it's usually something so close to the original, even maybe worse in terms of ergonomics, mediocre at best. But you have gone through such an emotional distress for so long that you even say thank you. Thank you for taking 5 years and costing 2 millions of euros to make this side of the road 5% different than what it was before and causing us the worst time and traffic for the best years of our lives. Of course, when you do construction in Greece, there is also this thing that you will most likely find ancient stuff. And this could be one way that the construction just never gets finished. We stumble upon something ancient, and then a lot of different bureaus need to coordinate and work together. And all of them are experts in not doing their job. So it is this great combo of different services that need to work together to remove roadblocks from one another that none of them wants to do absolutely anything. So this is one more glorious way for things to never finish through. But do you know what else gets to archaeological sites than the Greek chapels? Microplastics, one of the main characters of these podcasts. We find them quite often, don't we, in our episodes and in our pee? Well, they're not only in our pee, they are, of course, in all ancient archaeological sites as well. That has been just made official. Zero surprise for me. But yes, a recent study confirms that microplastics have infiltrated ancient archaeological sites. And the problem with that is that they are potentially contaminating historical records. So it changes the composition of the soil that we believed is good to preserve. So soil samples taken from sites dating back to the Bronze Age have now microplastics, indicating widespread pollution. And I'm like, how are you surprised that the Bronze Age soils have now microplastics? We looked into the deep ice of Antarctica in the bottoms of the sea, kilometers of ice in, and we still see microplastics there that are carried through the natural cycle of water. They're in us right now as we speak. You listening and me talking right now, we both have microplastic particles in our bodies. And these sounds normal. How can this sound normal? How can not this be the thing we're trying to solve instead of firing rockets at each other? But yes, surprise, surprise, this discovery, of course, raises concerns about the long term impact of the plastic pollution on ecosystems and cultural heritage. Thank you very much. I don't know what the solution to this will be. I remember that some years ago, I need to look it up. There was this organism that could eat plastic, that it could like dissolve plastic. You know, in nature, there are all of these different fungi and bacteria that like eating dead things, and they contribute into nature's recycling in a way. And there are these landfills with plastic mountains of trash in ecosystems, and it seems that life has been trying to find a way to decompose plastic. And I remember reading some time ago that there was a tiny wait, I don't know where I was left because I had to answer the door. But point being is that for now, microplastics are winning, and we don't seem to have a great way to get rid of them. Maybe in 10 years from now, we will realize somehow that microplastics have traveled all the way to the moon or Mars. Maybe it's the one thing we managed to export as an intelligent species. On small notes, last week I also shared how scammers are trying to find me, getting these messages on Telegram and WhatsApp by random numbers. And it's almost like I invited myself to get even more of these. I have Lorraine and Anna Lane messaging me, and Amelia with messages like, "Hey, do you remember me? Excuse me, is this Nicole's number?" and things like that. I'm very close to start answering to some of them. As I said before, all of these are new type of scam where they pretend they are a well-off, rich business kind of person, usually from East Asia, and they send you a message by accident. If you reply back, they start getting friendly and talking, and slowly they let you know that they live a really good lifestyle, they have a lot of money, and at some point, if you keep talking to them, they pretend they're lonely, they build this bond with you, and at some point they say, okay, you know what, I will share some secrets on how I make money so you can make some money, invite you to some trading platforms that look very legitimate, and they are in the app stores and they have ratings, but they are all a facade. The reviews are fake. The names of these apps change constantly because they're being banned from the Apple stores and Play stores, and they replace them with new ones, the scammers. And if you go all that way, the money you invest are actually going into their accounts, and everything you see in these apps is fake. You see that you're getting gains, and you even see analysis, and they're very, very good looking, similar to proper trading platforms. But if you ever want to get your money back or withdraw your money, this is when you will realize that all of this has been fake. There is no actual money in. You're just seeing numbers dancing on a screen. So, again, the reminder to not reply to these messages. I was very close to replying. I was wondering if I reply saying that I know what this is, if this will increase the number of spam I get or decrease it. Because if it's a proper business and they should know if they have no chance at me to not waste any time messaging me. Anyway, message scams are all around. As a last thing on these scams, I find myself getting very angry at these people that are trying to scam me, and my reaction is that I want to curse them and to scam them back, or just I get hostile. But apparently, a lot of these scammers are not doing it necessarily by choice. And what I mean is that there are some investigative articles and mini documentaries that you can see that actually people are being abducted or tricked into going in these job opportunities, specifically in East Asia, or workers from China. And they have these scam centers, entire buildings, entire complexes where everyone inside is scamming people. And they place this in some states close to the China Myanmar border that is controlled by heavy military, and basically they abduct people and get them there, or they trick them, and once they are there they cannot leave. They're forced to work nonstop hours. They have hundreds of people to scam. They have software that can be talking with a few hundred people at the same time with WhatsApp and Telegram, like an aggregator that it gets multiple windows and tabs with all of your chats. And it's like a call center. They have the scripts that they need to play and the role playing that they need to do. And they even hire models or women actors that create recordings every now and then. So if a victim gets suspicious from all this chat and says, hey, you're not a real person, or you're trying to scam me, they even have some recordings. And that means they have a female model 8 hours a day recording some of these messages saying, hey, Hermes, it's me, Anna Lane. Thank you for blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it's a very operationalized way of working. You have the scammers working on the computers, chatting every day. If at any reason you're too suspicious and you want some proof, then a request goes to that model that is recording 8 hours a day messages to different people. And of course, if you get a recording, then for some time you will be getting chat again because your suspicion level is low. And that's why they don't need 1,000 of these women models making these recordings, and they can only have 2 or 3, but have hundreds of scammer employees. And these scammer employees, they get their passports or their documentation and they don't let them go. There are also reportings of beating them if they don't perform well, and the conditions there are very inhumane. And there are even some volunteer organizations that try to rescue people out of these centers. But anyway, that changed the hatred I had for the scammers. And I realized that they might be living in a cycle that they can't break, being exploited and beaten and forced to do this as a way of living rather than being the actual masterminds of it. As a last thought, I went to one more concert of an artist I really love from my youth up until now, Pavlos Pavlidis. I hadn't listened to him in a few years live now, and I noticed a few things that I wanted to share. I am now 32, and this is an artist I've listened ever since I was 15, and has gone through a lot of transformations of the songs and styles, like every artist should do, my opinion. If someone is performing the same song for 30 years in the same way, I mean, it's great, but I don't think that that person is an artist anymore. You can call them a performer, but I find it a natural thing for the music to evolve and change and try to find new ways. Anyway, my point is more on the way that you connect with a song, the way that you experience a performance and something that means a lot to you. This is something I shared a few episodes ago with another artist I saw, and maybe the difference is that I observe myself more. And what I wanted to say in this one is that I am someone who enjoys music alone. The way that I connect with music has been a very individual, self centered way, which I think is normal. You listen to a lot of music alone, and the way for me to enjoy and connect would be to just close my eyes and think and just let it sink in and see things with my fantasy in my head and experience myself. And this is something that I've also seen in different concerts that I it's nice being there with friends, but also being alone, seeing a favorite artist and having that moment for yourself. I feel it has a lot of power. So this has been the usual way for me to enjoy, even if I was with friends or alone. The way I connect is more selfish in a good way. And the difference I noticed now was that exactly because these songs have a big emotional impact in me and they have a big, strong connections from a different time in life, first off, it made me feel older, thinking that, oh, now they're playing one of their first songs. This is an old song. They don't play it anymore. Because I know that the artist has been through different transformations, different parts of their career, different multiple albums released. So it holds a different power when you hear a song which is part of the first songs you ever heard. And somehow this significance of the connection of a song through time is something I didn't experience before. And I think it's because I'm older. Usually, you like an artist, and what they're singing is what you like, and then you go to a concert and then you hear that. It had been that I would hear an artist singing something from their earlier times, but their earlier times would not be that long ago. While now, when I hear my favorite artist sing something from a long time ago, it is actually a long time ago. So one was this, just to feel the passage of time through these classic songs. And the second one was when some of my favorite songs were playing, my need was actually to be with other people that are having the same experience. I went again all in from the back of the concert to the center, to the middle, with a good friend of mine. And I think one of the most impactful moments was when we started jumping and singing and enjoying this song that means so much to us. And I felt a stranger's hand come on my shoulder and started jumping with me. And I realized that there is someone who's having a great time making the same connections I am. And I don't know, just sharing that moment. And then there was a bunch of us unknown people between us that so effortlessly we knew that it's okay that we can touch and hug and start jumping around and singing and dancing because what we were hearing meant to us the same thing. The connection we were sharing from listening to our favorite song meant so much that somehow it goes through the barrier of I need to know someone and meet them and get to feel familiar with them, and all of that gets a big checkpoint, a big check mark, exactly because we knew what it means for us to be in the center of that concert in that very moment and listening to a song we haven't heard in 10 years and has had a big impact on us. So, this immediate connection and this energy of people joining together and being in this delirium around our favorite artist while being in our 30s plus plus was something that felt very beautiful to me. That person instantly felt like a friend, and Yeah, it was just a joy for me and my buddy to go in the center of that concert and be surrounded by strangers that shared something so strong that we didn't need to say anything, but we just hugged all together and became one crowd. This is what I realized, that this mattered to me a lot. And I thought about it. Why does this matter? Why was it so profound that as I was having a moment with my best friend, the other random people also joined, and we all had this. By joined, I mean, just grabbing who's next to you and jumping around and dancing. And I think is this, I really felt that we shared a moment, and I really felt they could understand what this song means to me. And I could understand what it means to them, and there was something very beautiful in that. So my observation is that I used to have a more self centered way to connect with the music and the feelings. And now I find it more impactful to have a shared experience with others around it, these moments, because I think it feels less lonely. Or I never thought it feels lonely in the past, but now realizing that you can share this is something that I find very meaningful at the stage of life where I am. This is what gave me a good kick, being able to empathize with someone without having to say or do anything. But okay, this has been a big rambling. The sun is out, it's 26 degrees. My allergies are trying to come to me, but I say, not today. I am deep into organizing the Greek Easter with the German family of my girlfriend. She's in it with me. We're trying to get the right amount of everything: chairs, meat, tables, room recommendations, Easter eggs, big candles to get the holy flame, and just cruise through this logistical challenge. So thank you for sticking along. I wish you have a great week ahead, that you're going more out, feeling the sun on your skins, and taking moments for yourselves. Until next week, have a good one. Ciao.